A perfect blend of characters for you. Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew?
Whoops. Prince Charles, Ronnie Kray, Alden Neaty.
And Prince Andrew, yeah.
And Brian Robson, Captain Marvel.
Brian Robson doesn't want to play for England anymore. We haven't a clue.
No, I can tell that.
This is
Yes,
Ian,
let
any
me
idea?
see. Now, how many of these people have appeared naked in public?
this is an injury question, isn't it?
Go on then.
And Brian Robson's always injured, isn't he? Mm-hmm. It's my knowledge of football. Alden Neaty fell over and injured himself. Mm-hmm. Prince Charles broke his shoulder playing polo. And Reggie Kray used to... Is it Reggie or Ronnie?
Ronnie.
Ronnie. Didn't he used to break other people's limbs? Yeah.
Alden Neaty broke his leg, a bit of a blow if you're a racehorse. Prince Charles broke his arm, a bit of a blow if all you have to do in life is wave and shake hands. And Brian Robson's trouble is with his left shoulder blade, as it's the only bone which won't break. Craig, a hugely talented and attractive foursome for you. Trevor McDonald. And Diamond. Jimmy Savile.
Can I confer with Trevor on that?
It would do you no good.
No, he hasn't any idea either.
Just think back. Have you been to bed with any of those?
I'm not answering that.
The one in the green hat. Now, you must remember. You got drunk, you in Jellystone Park. The stars were out.
Shall I put you out of your misery?
Wrong. Trevor McDonald refuses to comment.
Not guilty, Your Honour. Not guilty.
It's Yogi Bear this time, as he's the only one never to have been voted Tie Man of the Year, which seems particularly harsh, as it's the only article of clothing he wears.
And Diamond.
And Diamond?
Jimmy Savile was awarded it in 1980 for his services to underprivileged Kipper ties, and Diamond won it in 1986, the same year that Mike Morris won Miss United Kingdom. And the man currently sitting on my left hand won it in 1990. Finally in this round, Ian, the familiar royal quartet for you. Princess Michael, the Duchess of York,
Oh, yeah.
Her Majesty the Queen, and Her Royal Highness Geoffrey Archer.
That's Yogi Bear, isn't it? This is a publishing question, I think.
Good, yep.
And I think the answer is they're all authors except Geoffrey Archer. No?
Not entirely true.
Princess Michael has just got a book out called How to Sleep Your Way into the Royal Family, which is a historical look at courtesans over the ages. Princess Fergiana has got a book out called Budgie the Large Royalty. And Geoffrey Archer, I believe, has just produced a novel. Has he?
No. It's a publishing story, but beyond that, it's not exactly right. The Queen is the answer, as she's the only one not to have been accused of plagiarism. Geoffrey Archer wrote a short story called A Twist in the Tail, the twist being that it wasn't his tail. The Duchess of York's Budgie the Helicopter bore close resemblance to another book, Hector the Helicopter, although she did promise to give all the £1 million proceeds to charity. In fact, she gave 10% to charity, which is a curious and mathematically rather imprecise interpretation of the word all. And
She was probably taught maths by a pig.
And Princess Michael, who in 1986 paid out thousands in compensation, was allegedly at it again this week. Princess Michael's defence was that she was only obeying orders. And at the end of that singular round, the consequence of it all is that Ian and Craig now have a hopeless 10, and Paul and Trevor have a thoroughly commendable 14. So, with everything to play for, except a prize, of course, we come to our final missing words round. Ian and Craig, you have the dubious honour of starting off. Major puts Mella in what?
Short trousers.
Major puts Mella in the club. What about that?
No, election front line is the answer. Next, Gascoigne in danger of becoming what?
Fit.
No, it's slightly nearer the truth. A joke is the answer.
What do you mean in danger? Warning libel.
Next, Saddam, only months from having what?
Gloria Honeyford. Been sending her roses, long distance, worrying.
It's a bomb, this one, isn't it? From a nuclear bomb.
It is a bomb, yes, I'll give you that. Next, Fowler and Tebbit may fight for what?
Most washed up former Tory cabinet minister award.
That's just gratuitous abuse, isn't it?
WBA championship?
That
No, it's
Europe,
the European.
Europe Post is the answer.
Yeah.
Good. And finally, Yeltsin brushes up his what?
Russian.
Answer is image, in fact. So there. Right. Well, Paul and Trevor, stand by. Here's yours. Heseltine is urged to buy what for nation?
Hairnet?
Stately home is the
Stately
answer.
home.
Next, Tebbit sinks teeth into Major's what?
Sausage.
It's not rum either. It's support.
Eurochamp is actually the slightly strange answer.
Eurochamp.
Next, Annika's big task is what?
Telling her husband where she's been for the past couple of weeks.
Who
Busting out of her jeans?
I think she's already done that. No, the answer is a gas.
Oh yes, she's selling gas on the telly, isn't she?
You noticed?
Incredibly dreary adverts. Yeah.
Absolutely right. Next, Princess is struck by what?
But meteorite?
Resemblance of her book to a lot of other people's.
You'd think
by
so,
an
but no,
idea.
flu is actually the answer. And lastly, I'll still win what, Vow's Major?
Derby.
Not as such.
Tie of the Year award?
Well, it could be the big one is actually the answer. So at the end of that earth-shattering climax, I can inform you that this week's Rotten Apples are Ian and Craig with 11, and this week's perfect pair are Paul and Trevor with 17. So, a clap on the back for our winners and a smack in the mouth for our losers. And all that remains is to check on their homework at the beginning of the programme, if you can remember those days. We asked them to come up with an amusing caption or two. Paul and Trevor, let's see what you've come up with.
Bestiality court case latest. Surprise witnesses called.
So that wasn't another of your teachers then?
No.
We thought it might be, hello dear, I'm the new DPP.
Did you indeed? Thank you. Holding nicely. Ian and Craig, what did you think of?
Hello Prime Minister, have you met Ken Barlow?
Well, that very neatly wraps it up. Thanks to our two teams, Ian Hislop and Craig Ferguson, Paul Merton and Trevor MacDonald. And I leave you with news that food shortages in Russia are now so bad that Soviet soldiers are having to eat their own uniforms. And announcing the publication of his new novel, Salman Rushdie reveals he's found the perfect disguise. And finally, some heartwarming news from Moscow as survivors of the KGB's rat torture are driven home to their families. Good night.
In case you were wondering, tomorrow's guests are Richard Littlejohn and Richard Ingrams. That's at the same time, 11 o'clock. Next tonight, another baffling case from the Forensic Files.